David and Sarah had always dreamed of owning a home away from the city's chaos. When they stumbled upon a beautiful yet affordable Victorian house on the outskirts of town, it seemed too good to be true. The real estate agent, a wiry man with nervous eyes, assured them it was a steal, recently renovated, spacious, and with a rich history. "You'll love it here," he had said with an awkward smile. Especially during the rainy nights. The couple moved in during the late autumn season. The very first night, heavy rain began to pour, drumming against the roof and windows. It was oddly soothing, a white noise that should have helped them sleep. But instead, Sarah found herself waking up at odd hours, a strange sensation prickling at the back of her neck. Then the whispers started. At first, she thought it was the wind sneaking through the cracks in the old wooden structure. But as the nights passed, the murmurs became more distinct, children giggling, hushed voices speaking in a language she didn't understand. One night, while David was fast asleep, Sarah heard something that chilled her to the bone. A deep, guttural voice whispered in her ear, "You're not alone." The next morning, she brushed it off as a dream, but a creeping sense of unease settled over her. She told David about it, but he laughed it away. "New house, old noises," he reasoned. "Give it some time." Days passed, and the incidents escalated. Doors creaked open on their own. Footsteps echoed in the hallway at night. The air seemed to hum with an unseen presence, and the stormy nights only intensified the feeling of being watched. Then there was the attic. David had locked it the day they moved in, yet every morning, they found the door slightly ajar. One evening, during another relentless downpour, Sarah decided to explore the attic. Armed with a flashlight, she climbed the creaky stairs and pushed the door open. Dust swirled in the dim light, revealing a space filled with old furniture, forgotten belongings, and a single, worn-out rocking chair positioned in front of a cracked mirror. As Sarah stepped closer, the chair began to rock, slowly at first, then with increasing force. She froze. Her breath hitched as she caught sight of something in the mirror. A shadowy figure stood behind her. Sarah stumbled back, her heart hammering against her ribs. The rocking chair stopped abruptly as if sensing her fear. She spun around, flashlight shaking in her grip, but there was nothing there. The attic was empty, silent except for the rain pattering against the roof. Her breathing uneven, she turned back to the mirror. The surface was fogged, but as she wiped it with a trembling hand, faint letters appeared, as though written from the inside. "Leave now." A cold shiver raced down her spine. She bolted downstairs, slamming the attic door shut behind her. David, half asleep on the couch, stirred and mumbled, "Everything okay?" Sarah hesitated before nodding. "Yeah, just the wind." But deep down, she knew the house was hiding something. Something that did not want them there. The next day, she decided to dig into the house's past. A visit to the town library uncovered newspaper clippings from decades ago, articles detailing the mysterious disappearance of the house's previous owners. Families had moved in and out quickly, often abandoning the property without explanation. Sarah's stomach twisted as she read a faded article from the 1950s. Local family vanishes during storm, only their shadows remain. That night, the whispers returned, louder than before. And this time, David heard them too. The storm raged outside, rattling the windows as David and Sarah lay awake in bed. Neither spoke about the voices they had heard, but the tension between them was thick, an unspoken fear lingering in the air. At exactly 3 a.m., a loud thud echoed through the house. David bolted upright. "Did you hear that?" Sarah nodded, gripping the blanket. It came from downstairs. Summoning his courage, David grabbed the flashlight and tiptoed down the creaky stairs. The living room was eerily silent, except for the rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock. Then, a movement in the corner of his eye made him freeze. The rocking chair by the window was moving. It creaked back and forth, as though someone invisible was seated in it. Cold sweat beaded on David's forehead as he approached cautiously. He reached out a trembling hand to stop the motion, only for the chair to suddenly jolt forward, slamming into the floor. A guttural laugh filled the room. David stumbled backward, his breath coming in sharp gasps. He turned to run up the stairs, but something grabbed his ankle. A cold, skeletal hand emerged from beneath the couch, gripping him tightly. He kicked wildly, breaking free just as Sarah screamed from upstairs. He dashed to the bedroom, finding Sarah standing near the window, eyes wide with horror. "David, look." Outside, in the downpour, shadowy figures stood motionless in the yard, their faces obscured by darkness. They stretched their arms toward the house, their mouths open in silent screams. Then, the bedroom lights flickered, and a voice whispered through the walls, "You should have left." The storm outside grew worse, the wind howling like a chorus of the dead. Suddenly, the closet door creaked open on its own. A putrid stench filled the room, and inside, they saw it, tall, gaunt, and grinning. A figure with hollow eyes and elongated fingers that twitched unnaturally. It tilted its head, its voice a rasping whisper. "Welcome home." They were trapped,